Hello, everybody. Welcome. This is episode 4. So today, um, I'm going to talk about the new Model 3. Right. So this is the third update. Um, I have the Model 3 Performance. I've had it for about 2 or 3 years. Love it. Great car. Awesome. Mostly perfect. Um, the only two things that I notice is that the spoiler is faded, right? And then I got a little water in one of my taillights. But I think those are covered under warranty. But I did see with the updated version that it's all new lights, all new spoiler design, um, acoustic glass everywhere, screens in the backs, plenty of updates, more aerodynamic, more range. So that's pretty cool, right? Um, but really, the point of this one, right, this episode, is to dive in deep to Elon Musk, right? So let's freeze with that. So you started PayPal, or one of the people started PayPal, sold it rich, and just stop right there. Made my millions. I'm good, right? But then he has this idea, right, of being energy efficient, right? Give me a second. You know, saving the planet, saving the world, contributing into that, right? And that's what makes Elon so great. It's because most people are one or the other, right? They're either a thinker, they think of all these great ideas, they think of what should be done. It would be great to have this and that, right? But they don't do it, right? Elon has these things that he thinks of, great imagination, right? Then he has the ability to do it. And typically doers normally outwork everybody, but in segments that are already created, right? And then they just outwork the competition and become successful in that route, right? But with Elon, he's a thinker, right? So he thinks of things that aren't necessarily here, right? And he has the ability, the work ethic to actually do it, right? And with all of that being in one person, he also has the ability to overcome obstacles at an unprecedented rate. So when you have a company, typically when you have a challenge or obstacle, right, it might take you 3 months, 4 months to overcome that, because you have to meet with different people, you have to think about the price, you got to get contractors and figure out all this, right? With Elon, he's overcoming these obstacles instantly, right? Over and over and over again. So, and then he has the ability to go a certain route, realize that, this might not be the best way to handle this as I originally anticipated. We're going the other route. Scratch it. There's no need to press on. We're going this route, right? So what that means is that if it takes a typical huge company to do what Elon has done, it would take them 50 years, right? And that's why a lot of the times when he has these ideas, everyone says it's impossible. It's impossible. It's not impossible, right? it's impossible with the boundaries that are created in a business, right? Because a business has to make profit first and foremost, right? So you can have these little side projects, right? And they're not going to be profitable. So you only put a certain amount of money in them at a time while still making your 2%, 3% yearly gains, right? So every time you get to that point, you got to stop. You got to stop. So you only put a little bit in it each year, right? And then with Elon, he's able to overcome them obstacles immediately, right? Because he has a window where he doesn't have to be profitable, right? He has a cushion where he can create, right? So when Elon did the math, right, of the company Tesla, I believe he said that with his calculations, he was only going to be at a 20% success rate. So in school, you're taught that when you run those type of numbers and you come up with a number that low, that you should stop. You shouldn't do it. That's crazy, right? But he looked at it like there's 20 different people who made it. I don't care about the 80 that didn't. And if I don't make it, I don't make it. But I at least inspire someone else, right? This is going to happen, right? Not only that, right? He's getting the best engineers in the world to say, hey, we're going to try to change the world. And we might go under in the process. But are you willing to try, right? And a lot of people have, right? But of course, the main risk is with Elon, right? Because he's all in. That's just one of his companies, right? He was also doing SpaceX at the same time, which is crazy, right? So he goes and has this thought like, okay, I'm trying to save the world, but what if I can't? What if it's something that we can't control, right? We need to be able to survive. So he has this idea like, well, let's have some bases on Mars, right? So he shops around for rockets, spaceships, and he's getting these crazy, ridiculous prices. So he's like, I'm going to build my own rocket, build my own spaceships, right? Which is crazy for a person to do that. Starts reading books, being knowledgeable, and he does it, right? So now he has two companies, right? He has Tesla, SpaceX. SpaceX, their trial runs weren't completely successful. So their cushion kind of ran out. You know, it was to do one more run. It's either going to make it and the company survives, or it's not. It's at that point, right? And also, Tesla's at that point, right? Because they got to get the manufacturing down to a point where it's profitable. So when you develop a concept car or car, I think one of Elon mentioned that, like for example, the Cybertruck costs $1 million to make. If you just make it, right, just make one. But it becomes affordable to a consumer when you have the economy of scale, which is the manufacturing process, right? Which is the main thing of making a car, right? To make it profitable. How fast can you make these cars, right? And then you got to be able to get it to a point where it's affordable to the consumer, and also a return of profit. And that is the challenge, right? Because he's creating concepts that don't exist. So he's not just copying off of other cars. I mean, he can easily do that, but he's challenging and updating insides and outsides, updates, self-driving, all at the same time, right? So he's at the point where he needs to, Tesla's a company, hey, you got to start making profit. Okay. So he has a lifeline. He has choices to make, right? So I can give all my money to Tesla and give them a cushion, but then SpaceX is going to go on. Or I can give all my money to SpaceX and then Tesla's going to go on, right? He's at that point. So what he does is he gives both his companies the rest of his money, right? And says, it's time to put in that work. So he sleeps at the Tesla factory and works non-stop, right? And now he thought he was overcoming obstacles before. Now he's all in, right? He's able to get to a point where Tesla's making a profit. Bam. That company saved, right? SpaceX, right? They're on their last test run. If they make it, they're good. Company saved. Everything's good. They don't have a successful flight attempt, right? Company's over. There's no more funding, right? And then there's all these companies. Everyone wants Elon to fail, right? Everyone's short in stock. Everyone's, oh man, why don't you just sell me the company? You should quit. You know what I'm saying? I got this, right? It's all going on. Right? SpaceX makes it successful mission, successful landing, right? Tesla makes it. Bam. Elon's richest man in the world. Right? You gotta respect it. You know, for him to do that, it's just unbelievable. I mean, competing with companies that have been around for hundreds of years. Well, 100 years, 50 years, whatever, right? And doing things where they said you can't do that. That's impossible. You're crazy. I'm sure you heard that. You're crazy. Even people who are kind of like on his level from competitor companies. That's impossible. You can't do that, right? And he does it. And that reminds me what Kanye said. You know, Kanye said, we should leave Elon alone. Give him whatever he needs. Let him be, right? Because I just discussed two companies, right? And I guess this is an important example. So a lot of people have been stuck in traffic before, right? And when you get stuck in traffic day after day, you think like, man, there's a better way to do this. Somebody should invent something that's better. Or you might actually have some ideas, right? You probably had the same idea, right? So why do we keep on spinning all these roads on the surface of Earth when Earth has hundreds of miles underground, right? Why don't we just build tunnels, right? I'm sure a lot of people have had that idea. Thinkers. Elon had the idea. And then you combine that with the door. And then you combine that with the overcoming obstacles. So he has this, he's sitting in traffic, he has an idea. Starts a company. And then at his factory, starts immediately digging tunnels. Right? That's what I'm talking about. That's what makes him special. That's what makes him Elon. Right? Because most people don't have both. Very few people do. Right? And then very few people are scared to fail. Well, yes. Doing something that everyone's telling you is impossible. Right? Then you do your own math and you're like, whoa, I probably will fail. And then you still do it. You still do it. And you make it. So I don't know if he's the richest person in the world right now. I know he has been. You know, I don't think it matters at a certain point. It's just about how he got there. You gotta respect. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I wanted to talk about today, because Elon is one of the people where I look at and I'm just like, wow. I would have stopped at if I would have calculated that and seen I only got a 20% success rate, I would have stopped. A lot of people have. You know what I'm saying? They've been like, well, I don't want to invest all my money in something that the math is showing that's not going to make it. I mean, I don't see how that makes any sense. Yeah. So, all right, guys. Just wanted to dive in Elon today. Very positive story. And just wanted to give you guys another episode. So, catch you guys later. Peace.